Hello everyone. We are going to wait for another 2 to 3 minutes and then we'll start. Hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the CX Minds Live. My name is Krishna. Today we are going to talk about voice of customer programs that and understand how to turn customer voice into business decisions. We'll focus on practical frameworks, prioritization rules, and a hands-on playbook you can use to turn customer feedback into real product and operational outcomes. For today's session, I am pleased to welcome Mr. Suraj Shetty, Head of Customer Experience at Kissht. Suraj is a multi-ex leader with deep experience across finance, operations, marketing, and technology. Suraj believes customer loyalty is earned not by providing value emotional discounting. He also brings a personal commitment environment, often spend weekends impact both inside and outside the business. Today, Suraj will walk us through correct representative feedback, practical taxonomy, and prioritization rule to convert insight into roadmap decisions and design the tooling tech architecture to scale VoC. Welcome, Suraj. Welcome to the session, and we look forward to get amazing insights from you regarding how to build VoC programs. To start with, I just want to understand about your planting the trees on weekends and that initiative. How did it came to? And how did you start that? What was the idea behind it?
Thank you. Thank you for the invite, Krishna. Am I audible to you? Is the voice clear?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, okay. So, with respect to the tree plantation initiative, I would say I started it in my college days. Right when I graduated out of college, I started it. It was in 2009 December. I started because I just wanted to have some activity apart from my academics and my career. So I was looking for any activity, social activity, where I can add some value to the society. And I thought it has to be something that I care about, and it has to be something that is easier to do and not very much capital intensive. So I was thinking about healthcare or something, but I thought these are too complicated, or it would require a lot of time, and at the same time it won't be very easy to learn. And so that's where I came with this idea that environment is something that I care a lot about, and tree plantation is something that's the need of the hour, looking at the global warming scenario. So that's when I choose this as a topic to add value to the society. And I believe each and every one of us should take some time off. I take every Sunday 2 hours every Sunday to do this. Even if we do it once a month, that would be fine. We can take any initiative. It can be education, healthcare, poverty, or any it's related to animal care or environment or anything. It can be anything of the sort, or even teaching. But the value, the most important part is not the value that it is adding to society, but the value it adds to your own personality. First of all, you feel nice about it when you do this, number one. Number two, you look forward to it always whenever you're doing it. So apart from your professional life and your personal life, you have something else to look forward towards whenever the weekend comes. So you know that, okay, this is something that needs to be done, and you own this piece, and you feel good about it when you achieve that. So I think that's what it is about. And also, you connect a lot, you network with people, and at the end of the day you end up doing some good stuff for the planet. So that's when I started, and slowly I started getting more serious about it, and I'm doing it like every Sunday. We plant 5 trees, so till now we have planted 550 trees in all, and we take care of these trees as well. We do it in Mumbai.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I think you started in 2009, and so far, like 2016 years, you continuing this. This is like something which I also believe everyone should do it. We often get so much indulged in our work, our family life, and everything that we forget about such kind of initiatives, which are really important for the society and well-being of everyone. That's amazing, and kudos to you, Suraj, for that. So now
Thank you.
let's to our topic. So want to know like VoC program from scratch. What was your approach? How did you decide which customer voice to listen to, which channel to prioritize, and most importantly, how did you ensure the program was built to drive decisions, not just to collect feedback or data?
Sure. That's an interesting question. So first of all, before we delve into the topic, I would like to give a disclaimer that whatever views or opinions that I share, those are personal opinions, and not they do not reflect the opinions or the practices of the company or the brand or my employer. So
Absolutely.
coming to this topic of VOC, I would say there are three ways in which VOC is collected. One is direct, which is you're speaking to the customer, or the customer is approaching you. Basically these are customer service channels: email, chat, voice, social media, etc. Second would be indirect, wherein you're looking at opinions shared by customers over different channels or different platforms. These can be the App Store, Play Store, or Quora, or any other platform where people would just leave ratings and opinions about your brand. That would be indirect. Then third would be inferred. Inferred would be more about how you're tracking the behavior of your customers. What kind of pages are they using on the app? What kind of options are they choosing on the app? How much time are they spending on the app? Which kind of services are they availing, what kind of services are they repeatedly availing, which they are not availing, and what kind of things they don't like, likes and dislikes, etc. So based on this, depending on what kind of output or what is the purpose of your VOC, the kind of channels will differ. So first of all, you need to define what is the problem that you're trying to solve, and then you need to decide on which channel you would approach first. It's direct VOC, indirect VOC, or inferred VOC, or of one or more of them. I would say I prefer more of direct VOCs and inferred VOCs as compared to indirect VOCs, because indirect VOCs are more about Play Store comments or random ratings given in on different platforms, which consist of a lot of spam, and it lacks clarity. So it's you are not able to take decisions based on that. You may get some hints, but you cannot take clear decisions. Whereas in case of direct VOCs, where the customer is clearly explaining his problem, you are able to probe him further. And secondly, in case of inferred VOCs, you can watch his behavior of the customer, his likes and dislikes. That gives you more hints about what the customer thinks about you, and then you can take decisions based on that. Inferred is just an add-on, but it doesn't add too much value. So first is identifying the problem that you're trying to solve. Second, I would say, would be creating cohorts around that problem. So basically, say for example, in the lending industry, say if you just want to know why a particular why customers are not availing a new product that you have launched, so you will have to you have to create different cohorts, like repeat customers or existing customers or new customers, or maybe some customers who have ever clicked on the new product page and they have just looked at the product and went away. Some have clicked and completed half of the journey, and some have clicked and completed the full journey. So you need to create different cohorts. And then the third would be zeroing on the list of questions that you want to be answered by these customers. So if you're doing a direct VOC, if you're speaking to customers, or if you're listening to their conversations on call, chat, email, etc., you need to first freeze the questions that you want to be answered. The questions can be, so may I know the reason why you have not used this service, or do you use any alternate service or a competitor service, etc. So the questions has to be very targeted, which would help you answer, which would help you solve the problem that you're trying to solve. So creating a specific list of targeted questions, so that you can get the right insights, which will help you build your own hypothesis about the problem and the solution, is very important. And finally, looking at all service tickets, which is customer service tickets, is very important, because customer service is a channel where the customer just pours his entire emotional frustration, his satisfaction on a daily basis. So it's necessary that if you're solving one problem, and it's necessary that you look at the tickets that have been generated in the customer service channels, email, chat, call, social media, with related to that problem. And in order for that to happen, it's necessary that your operations team, that is the customer service operations team, is tagging conversations properly. Or maybe the tool that you're using for ticketing conversations, that tool is able to tag conversations properly, because if you do not have the right tagging across conversations, you won't be able to track them. So if it's a lending company, and say in a day there are a lot of customers who may call us or email us, some would be on EMI, some would be on refund, some would be on collection, some would be on civil updates, some would be on fees, some would be on new loan applications, some would be on loan rejections. It's necessary to tag this properly. I have seen across many companies, I have seen this, that a lot of people use very generic tags, like loan application problem, or maybe loan rejection problem. There are no specific tags given to conversations. And so what I prefer doing is that you need to have specific tags for each conversation. So inside refund, there has to be specific subcategories. What kind of refund? Is it a late fee refund? Is it a processing fees refund? Is it a EMI refund? Is it an extra EMI refund? What is it? So that when you have these subcategories defined, tomorrow if any product team, marketing team, or any team wants to look at your conversations, they don't have to read the entire thing. They can just categorize them easily, and then they can drill down to the main issue. So number one, start with the problem that you're trying to solve. Number two, create cohorts around that problem. Number three, create a specific list of questions that need to be answered, and that you want the customer to answer. Number four, look at service tickets, social media, Play Store reviews, etc. And most important, if you are having a conversation with a customer, you're taking a review from a customer, it's necessary at the end of the day that you incentivize the customer. Because if you're interviewing a customer for 5-10 minutes and engaging in a conversation with him, knowing his likes and dislikes, it's also important to incentivize them so that they feel good about the brand. So I think this is how a VOC program should rightly be created.
That's great, Suraj. And I think understanding what are the kinds of uses, like you said, direct,
Hmm.
indirect, inferred, is very important. And the structure that you have defined, I completely agree. That's the right way and right approach to collect the feedback. And one thing from this I want to understand. You mentioned about indirect uses, store, app store ratings, reviews
Sure.
on those channels. So now in today's world, like people, a lot of customers would want to first go and check the feedback on Play stores and app stores. So do you think that becomes very important to have have good feedback coming up on Play Store or App Store, so that new customer acquisition becomes very easy. Because even if I'm a customer today, I would first want to see like about any brand, that what other people are saying on Play Store or App Store or any review platform. So how does this reviews that we see on these channels part of the VOC? As you already mentioned, it's direct, which you need to see. But how critical this becomes, or do you think there are noises around these feedback? Because I also know, we have seen that ratings and voice, the feedback that comes many a time, that doesn't match. So what do you think about that?
See, I think your question consists of two areas. One is criticality, and second is how to whether it can be used or not. So, criticality, I would say it is very, very critical. The ratings are very critical because the ratings play an important role in forming an opinion about your brand. The customer first looks at the rating of the app. So, in our case, it's more than 5.5 for the app. That's because the customers are very happy with the app, the entire journey, the kind of services that we give. But at the same time, in order to ensure that you have a great rating, it's also necessary to inform the customers whenever it's possible that in some of the best moments, to ensure them that you nudge them to give a rating. So for example, whenever you use any app for that matter, it can be a shopping app, or it can be a financial services app, or it can be a app for travel tickets, etc. Whenever you complete the transaction, usually you get a nudge for a CSAT NPS survey, or sometimes you get a nudge for would you like to rate the app. So that's a very important parameter for brand. So if you're a digital brand, it's an app especially. So it's necessary that after every critical moment of the customer, if the customer has had a very good journey, very good transaction, it's necessary that you ask him that would he like to rate for the app. And most probably the customer would like to rate, provided that the journey of rating, the entire process of rating is easy for him, and also provided that he has had a pleasant experience. So that is very important. So it's necessary that we get good reviews from customers, and tracking the ratings is very important. How many people are rating 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is very important, which we closely track. And we also get in touch with the customer. If he has given a very bad rating on the Play Store, we immediately reply to him. There is a team which replies to the customer, gets in touch with him, tells him, asks him what is the problem, solves the problem, and then after solving the problem, we ask him, would he like to update the rating? Is he satisfied with the services? If he's satisfied with the services, if he likes, he may update the rating. So there is an entire process set for this, so that the customers should feel that they are cared for. So whenever they are giving a negative rating on social media or Play Store or any other channel for that matter, it's necessary to immediately get in touch with him and solve the problem. It's most of the times you would see that 70% of the people would like to update the rating. The problem is solved. That is number one. So it is very critical. When it comes to taking decisions based on that rating, the problem is there is a lot of spam in those ratings, and also it's not easy to understand those ratings. So a lot of one star ratings would just say bad service. So you cannot infer anything out of that bad service thing. You cannot take decision as to what was bad. Second, you cannot identify the customer. So if someone has written on Play Store, this is a bad app, and his name is Cool Vijay, you cannot track it down to understand who is Cool Vijay in your customer base, because you may have lakhs of people named Vijay. You cannot just track down who is Vijay. But yes, when it comes to customer service channels, even if someone sends an email saying the service is bad, I can immediately understand, okay, this email ID is for this customer. I can track it down. This customer, he has taken a loan and his loan was rejected. So now he's saying bad because his loan was rejected. I can understand that. So that's why I say direct feedback, when it is coming from customer service channels or through surveys, NPS, CSAT service, you are able to track it back to the customer base and match it, that what was the problem he faced. You don't have to every time speak to them. But when it comes to indirect feedbacks like Play Store, social media, or Quora, etc., it's difficult to map the customer to your base, and hence it is not easy to take decisions. Every time you will have to go and ask them, may I have your contact number, may I have your account number, and then you'll be able to identify them. And also every time on these platforms, customers do not reply and provide their details. They would just write a review and they will go away. So it's not easy to get in touch with them as well. And hence I think the reliability of these platforms in terms of taking decisions, final decisions on what kind of changes to be made, what kind of fixes to be made, is low, and hence inferred feedback and direct feedback plays a higher role. But criticality is very high in terms of maintaining that rating and ensuring that whoever is giving a bad rating is cared for and immediately attended.
Got it. And I totally echo your thoughts. Like this is the right way. So once, like, if we have collected the feedback, and if the VOC insights or feedbacks are staying with the CX team itself, that's of no use, right? So
Right.
how have you structured your cross-functional collaboration, or you have like how do you collaborate with other teams so that the VOC is incorporated into your product operations and even financial decisions?
I would say the best is there is an old school approach for this. Nothing new to be done. In old days, people used to create committees for everything. This committee, that committee, etc. So if you call it a committee, it becomes very boring. But it's necessary that you have these committees, and you need to have a committee for customer grievances, which consists of all head of departments. And it's necessary that this committee meets every fortnight or at least every month. The purpose of the meeting is to have a crisp slide on the problems faced by customers. So present a slide of all customers problem that I have identified through surveys, through customer service interactions, as well as through ratings and reviews, that these are the problems that we have identified during the month or during the fortnight. And we would also give a root cause analysis of these problems. Okay, there are 100 customers who have complained about an X issue, and when we did a root cause analysis, we found that this was the reason for them being angry about this issue, or them being dissatisfied about this service. And after that, apart from the RCA, we also would present what is the suggested changes that we believe should be implemented to solve this. And we would give top priority to the one which is higher in volume. Of course, that's how it would work. And then finally, after that 30 minutes of presentation on all the problems, we would ask for views from the HODs. It can be a collection HOD, it can be product head, it can be a sales head, it can be a head of a bureau operations or a payments team, etc., or the tech team itself. We can ask them for their suggestions on what is the right way of solving this, because they may have better opinions on that depending on and the area of expertise. So that's how it works. Have a fortnightly meet or minimum monthly meet, present the problems that the customers are stating, the volume, the quantum of those problems, present the root cause analysis, present the suggested solutions, and then ask for the solutions. And it's necessary that the management is kept in loop in these conversations, because it always works top down. So unless there is initiative taken by the top management, the other teams may not take these on priority, because they have their own KRAs, they have their own priorities. So it's and fortunately, I would say when it comes to Kissht, the top management is very serious about customers, their grievances, their escalations, because we are a registered NBFC. We are regulated by RBI, and I think that's one of the most highly regulated sectors banking today, and it's good as well. We have one of the best regulators, which is RBI. So when you have this top-down approach, where the importance, the pressure is from the top itself, that this is a top priority item, and you have created a group which consists of the head of departments, and you're presenting the right data to them regularly, the problems automatically get solved. And they are kept aware of what's going wrong and what need to be fixed, rather than waiting for a big escalation to come and everyone to get on the table for that escalation.
Great. I really like that thought, like old school approach, because we sometimes forget even old school things are better at times when we are giving them new names,
Yeah.
basically. So as you mentioned about like Kesh, it's regulated, it's like SEBI registered NBFC and RBI regulated and
RBI
everything.
registered, yeah.
RBI registered, sorry. Sorry, not SEBI. My bad. So lending, because Kisht is in lending and credit, like so lending and credit are sensitive spaces, right? Where customer feedback can be emotionally charged or influenced by their financial situation. How do you design a VOC program that captures genuine insights in such a high stake or regulated industry?
See, I would say again, I would now throw some light on the direct VOC part. We lay a lot of emphasis on having conversations with customers. So whenever there is a problem, whenever we have a problem that need to be solved or problem that needs to be identified, we immediately have a conversation with the customer. The number one, I prefer having at least 10 conversations with customers for a particular problem, minimum 10 conversations. It's not a magical figure as such, but that's my average, that have at least 10 conversations with the right cohort that is facing that problem. And you would come to know what is the root cause of the problem, and you would also get some suggestions from the customers itself. So the best way is to have a 10 to 15 minute long conversation with the customer who has faced the problem. And for this 10 to 15 minute conversations, you obviously have to incentivize the customer, maybe a 50 100 rupees cashback, so that he is ready to spend that time with you, explain the problem and everything, and take his prior appointment before doing that. But have that conversation, and it's necessary to record that conversation and feed it to the product or the marketing or the operations team, so that they understand what it is and give a summary of that problem to them. So what, say for example, there is a problem. I'm just giving you an example that, say if the problem is that a particular customer, a particular base of customers who have great credit scores, end up bouncing their first EMIs. For example, they end up bouncing their first EMIs. So here the customer is very good. He's excellent customer, 750 plus credit score. Uh, Already an auto debit is registered. The customer has not shown any negative signs of bouncing, but still the EMI bounces first EMI. And the customer comes back on customer service and he says, "Why have you levied bounce charges? I wanted to pay my EMI." And he's very irate about it. He himself knows that his EMI is bound, but he's irate about it. Now, the first inference that someone would say is that this customer is not a very good customer. He has bounced his EMI and he is angry at the same time. So basically, he should be paying his late fees. We have sent him reminders, but still he has bounced his EMI. So he has done it purposefully. That's the first inference you would get. But if you dig deeper, if you try to speak to the customer and understand, sir, may I know what was the reason that you bounced? He would say, I was not aware. So then you can dig on further. You can say, we have sent SMS, we have sent WhatsApp. So all reminders were sent to you. And at the time of application, you knew that auto debit is created. So what was the reason it bounced? He would say that, okay, I got this reminders. I knew there was an auto debit happening, but he was not aware that which bank auto debit would happen. So obviously, even bank accounts, I maintain some balances across bank account due to XYZ reasons. I have taken some loans, some EMI is going from there, some EMI is going from here, some credit cards are here, and some accounts I use for my UPI transactions. So I've segregated my spending accordingly. If a bank sends me an SMS saying your 16,000 EMI is going to be debited tomorrow, this is a plain message. Because of this, the customer may immediately see, okay, I have an EMI coming. He would just look at his main bank account and see if the balance is there, or he may get just busy. He's very busy and he's traveling, and he may forget that to check all his accounts, and then he may come to know that the EMI had bounced in his second account, where he has not maintained a sufficient balance. So it's necessary. So what we understand from here is necessary. We need to revise the content, mention the bank account number, last digits of the bank account number, that the EMI is going to be debited from HDFC bank account ending with 1234. Now, this gives him more clarity to understand, rather than him contacting customer service and asking that I have got a message, where should I maintain my balance? And then customer service will check and tell him. If he's busy, he won't even call, because he doesn't have time to call and check all these things. And by the time the EMI date comes, the bounce has already happened. So this is what a VoC helps us. You need to get into conversation with the customer, understand what is the problem, tell him your situation, understand his situation, and then you arrive at the right root cause which can be solved. So the in this particular problem, the root cause was your communication templates were not up to the mark. They were just informing customer about the auto debit. They did not inform him which account the auto debit will happen, which bank account number, etc. So that was very important, and that's how we do VOCs, to understand customer pain points and solve them. So I would say, in
Great,
order to get the
great.
right words, it's necessary to always have a conversation. You can use AI, you can use different tools, you can do NPS, CSAT, everything. But what you get from 10 conversations with customers is very much valuable than the data that you get from NPS and CSATs. The conversations play a huge role, because human to human conversation always is much more valuable than having a huge data set of thumbs up and thumbs down from the customer. So pick
Absolutely,
up
and
the
I
phone and
think
just speak
that's
to them.
the yes, that's more important because for such high stake and regulated industry, when finances are involved, it's very much important to have the one-to-one connection, one-to-one conversations with such kind of customers. So you also talked about AI and how AI can help. So what do you think? Like now, AI is in trend, right? Everyone is trying to use AI to do different things, right? How do you think, like, if you are using AI for insight generations or feedback generation, uh, are there like are you using it already, or you plan to use, or are there any specific examples you can share where AI helped you to uncover patterns or the trends that humans might have missed to capture from the feedback or the VoC program?
Yeah, Krishna, I would say AI has been very powerful, and companies across different industries, not just fintech, each and every industry, the companies are doing pilots for using for different AI tools. But one very important use case that even we are doing right now is on the voice part and also on the non-voice part. But the voice is very important because there are two things that can be very effectively done through AI. One is understanding the sentiment of customers and the voice of customer. So when there is a tool now, so previously, what used to happen is there is a manual QA, a person listening to call, rating the call, which is called quality analysis, which was manually done on 1% or two
Yeah,
percent of the conversations. Right now, you have a AI tool which can audit 100% of the conversations and tell you what is the VOC on live basis. On a daily basis, you get a live dashboard which tells you what is the voice of customer on calls happening on a daily basis for collections, for sales, as well as for customer service. What all customers are telling day in and day out, what are they exactly saying, what are they happy about, what are they unhappy about, how many agents are very good in servicing customers, which are the agents which need some more training on professionalism, which are the agents that need some product training, etc. So where AI helps say, is in making humans more efficient. So basically it helps you in knowing the dangers. It helps you in understanding what are the problems that are going to come in future. You can identify these issues early, and second, you can also identify what are the problems that your own team or process has which need to be fixed. So AI has helped us understand training requirements 10 times faster than we used to identify it before. So basically, if there was a problem in a call where the caller is not able to handle it properly, we used to take at least 4 to 5 days to get to the root cause because we were doing a 1% call analysis. But AI today, within 24 hours, I can come to know out of my entire team if I have introduced a new batch of employees, how many employees are not able to take the right kind of decisions on calls. It can immediately tell me, and I can instantly give them the right training and then reanalyze their work. That is one part, which is call analysis. Second would be, I would say, automating basic and requests that come from customers. So basically, there are two kinds of conversations that happen. One is a very basic conversation where customer is having queries or requests which are very simple in nature, like will I get my NOC, or can I get my NOC, or can I get a statement of account, or what is the bounce charges. So these are basic queries which a human doesn't need to attend. The bot itself can attend. So if someone sends an email, the email bot can answer these queries immediately. The AI bot can answer these queries immediately. But further, if he has any further questions or if he's not able to understand, then it can be transferred to a email agent, to the human email agent. So one is a voice bot, I would say, which we are using on our IVR. We are doing a pilot on a voice bot part, which can handle basic inquiries from customers on the IVR itself. And if the customer is not able to, not satisfied, or if he has any further queries, the IVR, the voice bot, AI bot would immediately transfer it to a human. Second, I would say, is an email bot wherein it can handle basic queries, so that if there are 1,000 emails coming, out of 1,000 emails, at least 300 emails which are basic in nature, or sometimes even blank in nature. Sometimes customers even send blank emails. They just write hi and send an email. And when we ask what is the problem, then they describe the problem. So these basic use cases can be handled by the bot, and a detailed or escalations which have more detailed kind of nature, which are more complicated in nature, need to be handled by humans. So that's where AI is being used, and I see a lot of potential for AI on the voice part more than non-voice, because as brands move to the other side of India, which is Bharat, which is tier 3, tier 4 cities, etc., as more and more brands move to these locations, finding the new uh, batch of customers, it's necessary that voice based solutions are explored, because in rural areas or semi urban areas, people prefer voice more than non voice channels. So they would not email you or chat with you, they would prefer to pick up a phone and speak to you. So I think a lot of innovations on AI would happen on the voice front going ahead in the next 2 years. They're already happening, but they would advance further in the next 2 years compared to non voice.
Got it. I think like what I inferred from this is AI should be used, and AI can definitely help in getting more insights that humans might miss, because what you said is true. If we have QAs, they cannot audit more than 2 or 3%. AI can do 100%. So obviously the sample size increases and we can get more insights. And definitely basic queries AI can handle, and there has to be a seamless handoff to the agent whenever there is a complexity. Great.
Correct.
So Suraj, like you might be handling thousands of queries daily, right? Your team might be doing that, right? So how do you ensure that you are not just listening to the loudest voices of the most dissatisfied customers? Because when you have thousands of queries, a lot of customers will come who are dissatisfied. But at the same time, you will also have many customers who are silent majority, who might be satisfied but may have valuable improvement ideas for your team. So what mechanism or what system you have in place that can capture the feedback from the silent majority and can help you improve your product?
So I would say when it comes to the silent majority, we look for cues from that customer behavior shows. So coming to inferred VoC now. So if we see that a particular set of customers, they have not raised any customer service tickets, they have taken a loan, they have repaid the loan on time, and then they have just disappeared. They're not coming back to avail a second loan. They do not have any customer service tickets. They do not have any grievances. They do not have any bad reviews. They have given best NPS score. Even the CSAT score is best. They have not returned to the app. That means there is some problem, or maybe they are not a right fit, or they do not have a need anymore. But rather than creating our own hypothesis, it's necessary that we connect with this customer. So what we do is, apart from if you look at the data of the silent majority of customers, you would always find the data to be very positive. The CSAT and NPS would be great. There would be no grievances. They had made the transactions successfully. They have taken loan and repaid it, but they are not repeating the behavior. So in order to understand, to get deeper understanding, I would say again, it's necessary to get into a conversation. So once you look at the inferred behavior, what kind of transactions have they done, what kind of behavior they have shown on the app, have they returned on the app, and if they have returned, which was the page that they accessed the last time when they returned on the app, and have they done any activity on the app in the last maybe 6 months after closing the loan. It's necessary to look at that, and after that, uh, do a conversation with these customers again. Pick up the phone, do a conversation, understand them, that have the right set of questions. So for me, if a customer has availed a loan, he's a very good customer, but suddenly has disappeared, the right question set of questions for me would be, sir, number one, uh, we have seen that you have taken a loan in the past, but you're not returned with the loan. You also have some great offers on the app. You have best loan offers, the higher amount, higher tenure, etc., but you have not returned. We have You also must have received some messages, but you have not returned. May I know the reason why? That is question number one. Why is it not availing the loans, or the new services that we have to offer? Number two would be, is he using any competitor services, which may be some other app, some other bank, some other NBFC, or some other platform that he has recently come across? What kind of other services or other credit channels he has? He may be having some credit cards, he may be having some other app installed. So we need to understand what kind of other services that he's using. Third would be understanding, why did he choose us in the first place? What was the reason he downloaded and took a loan from us? What was the reason for him to choose us? uh, Fourth would be, what was the reason for him to look at other competitor apps. What did he like about these competitor apps that he feels that is lacking in our app? What are the things that he feels it is available there, it's not available here? So these are some important questions. When you have these questions answered, you would automatically come to know why this silent base of customers who have been very loyal to you may have suddenly stopped transacting. So some would be just that they have taken a loan because they had an emergency. Some friends suggested them, they took a loan, but now they don't want to take any further loans. They are not a frequent loan taker. That would be one segment. Someone would say that I took a loan, but after that I got a higher loan offered somewhere else, so I took that from my bank. That I took a loan, but right now I do not have a requirement. I have a requirement coming next month, so I would avail it. But I will definitely return to you. So these are, and someone would say that I am taking loans from 10 different apps. I have 10 apps installed, and every app has an offer, so I keep using each of these apps. So this is how, so it's necessary to get into conversation, understand why they are not responding, or why they are not transacting anymore. This would also help you to do some targeted campaigns to these set of customers. So it's necessary to create different cohorts and then do conversations with each cohort, and then arrive at an hypothesis that okay, this is the kind of different campaigns that I need to run for these customers. So if you keep just bombarding the customers with new SMS and WhatsApp by changing the content, it won't help. It's necessary to first understand why they are not responding. If they're not responding because of some things that are lacking in your services, you need to fix that first, rather than sending more SMS or WhatsApp. And if you feel that they have recently found some other new service providers, it's necessary for you to research those service providers. If he says, I have found a new BNPL service, I have found a new bank or a credit card, and this is what I like about it, then it's necessary that your team researches that particular competitor and looks at what all things they are giving, what's the pricing, what's the process, what kind of campaigns are they running, and try to get some learnings from there. So this is how we do it. So yes, to answer your question, we look at the silent majority. We always keep tracking who are the customers who are not approaching customer service channels but are availing loans from us, or they are availing and they have suddenly stopped. We keep tracking this, and we try to get in touch with the customers. So I would again say having a conversation is very important. So having the team in place, at least 3 to 4 people in your team who are continuously having conversations with customers, and who are given the right cohorts every month, that these are the cohorts, these are the right set of questions, and they need to keep doing the conversations and sending the feedback to the management, so that we can take the right calls. And AI again helps here. So once you have these conversations, the voice analytics platform can give a quick summary about all the conversations that you have done, which was earlier used to happen manually. So I think that's how it can be done faster. But do not rely on a bot for any survey or conversation that you want to have. It needs to be manually done, and it should be done by someone who is a decision maker as well. So if you outsource this activity to a very junior person, he would have the conversation, but he wouldn't have a conversation which the kind of quality conversation which you would have, because you know what all things are in stake. You would know what kind of right questions to ask depending on the emotions of the customer, because you know the product very well. The junior employee may not know it. So you can outsource this calling activity to some extent, but some of the calls, I would say, as head of department, each of the head of department needs to make some calls to the customers on a daily basis. Even if you look at the best companies like Amazon in its initial days used to, the CEO himself used to listen to calls and get some emphasis from there as to what customers are saying, and he used to play these calls during the team meeting, so that the entire team comes to know what customers are saying. They must be doing it even now as well. But this is what I want to say, that having conversations with customers at a very top level, not at a very junior level, having the top management, the top team conversate with customers, speak to customers on a daily basis or on a monthly basis at least, and understand their pain points, or maybe visit the customers. If you have customers who can be visited, maybe say if you're a Paytm, if you have onboarded lakhs of merchants pan India, visiting these merchants, visiting the stores, seeing how they are using the payment platform, seeing how they are using the QR code, or maybe the machine that they're using over there, it's necessary to understand them. So it's necessary to keep visiting your customers, physically meeting them or calling them up and speaking to them is very important to get the pulse.
I think we have spoken about several things here, and like it's what the crux that I get from this is that it is whether it's silent customers or those who are making noise, it's very important to have a qualitative feedback, the conversation with them to understand, to get to the deep or to the root of the problem. So, with this, I want to ask one thing. Like, after collecting the feedback, this is one of the biggest trust breaker in CX. Is when customer is giving feedback and felt it disappeared into a black hole. So how do you close the loop with with such customers, and how do you demonstrate to them that their voice actually mattered? It's not just listened, heard. There is some changes that are going to happen. So how do you ensure that the entire loop is closed?
So I would say it's necessary to be selective in this approach. So if you're taking, just give me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever you are doing a survey, if you have done a survey of say 1,000 customers, they have given rating. You cannot get back to each customer and tell them what changes you have done. But especially those customers who have given a detailed explanation to the survey, who have just explained the reason for giving a bad rating, or who have written a long email to you, or who have written a social media post about the brand, or who have had a 15-minute conversation with you during a survey, and they have given very qualitative inputs about the services. It's necessary to take down these inputs, and we always make it a point to particular customers who care about the services and who have been very vocal about it and who have been very detailed about their the problem that they're facing and about the kind of feedback that they have for us. So we make it a point that if a customer is very detailed and very structured and very clear about the problem that he has faced, the kind of expectations that he has, we note it down. We tell him that okay, we'll something about it and we'll get back to him. And once we solve the problem, or even if we are doing out of 10 things that he has requested, if you're even if you're fixing two of the things, it's we always go back to the customer and inform him that this is what we have done, and would you like to just like I said, whenever someone is giving a very bad rating and writing about you, it's necessary to solve the problem and get back to the customer asking that we have solved this problem, would you like to revise the rating? So that's how we get back to this customer. So we selectively look at the customers who are very much aggrieved and who have been very supportive in making us understand the problem and helping us solve the problem. So we always get back to these customers and ask them about their fresh review of our services after fixing this problem. So that's how they come to know that they are cared for. But of course, you cannot get back to all customers, and if you try to get back to all customers, that would be very templatized, saying thank you, we have implemented that won't make much sense, and they would feel that it's just a templatized response. So it's necessary to get back to the selective customers who have been very vocal and very clear about the feedback.
But so, like you talked about this, how you have designed this in your organization to close the loop, talking to the customer, telling them what you have fixed, and then asking them to review it again, right?
Yes.
So, can you give us some specific example where customer feedback was actually uh, changed your product roadmap or changed something in your product that lead to a significant process change or system change? What was that journey from hearing the feedback to shipping the solution? It will give us a practical idea like how to do it in as a playbook or as a framework.
Okay. So, in our case, we do it on a regular basis. So, I wouldn't have a very big or significant example, but yes, I can give you one example. Say, in case of a lending industry, what happens is you keep on sending offers to customers. If someone avails a loan, you get a new SMS or a WhatsApp saying, "Ki, you have a better offer, avail this offer." So, if you availed a 50,000 loan, tomorrow you close the loan after 1 year, you will get an offer saying now you have 1 lakh available, avail this offer, avail it now, and you have lower interest rates or fees or whatever is the offer. He's a repeat customer. So it happens that when you keep sending these offers, some customers may not respond to you. So what can be done is, I have seen an example wherein when you have a conversation with the customer, when with these kind of customers who have not responded to such offers, when you look at the offer is very lucrative. So the customer has availed X amount of loan at an X cost, and next offer is very lucrative. He is getting a very lower cost at a higher tenure, higher amount, etc. But still, he is not availing it due to some reason. So we may feel that the message is not attractive. We should make the message more attractive, or we should use some other channels, etc. But that's not the problem. It's necessary to look at whether he has viewed the message, whether he has done some response on the message, like interested, not interested, etc. So it's necessary to frame your messages in a way that he can give some feedback or hints to you on the message itself. Interested, not interested. If not interested, why not interested, etc. So that rather than spamming the customer 10 times, if you're just sending one WhatsApp message with a clear a call to action wherein he can just say he's not interested and this is the reason he's not interested, it's fine. You can just take the feedback, stop spamming him, or get back to him with the revised offer. So what I came to know that this particular customer, he did not avail the loan, and when I spoke to him, he suggested that he did not avail the loan because the loan 1 lakh and he did not want 1 lakh. He was looking for 30,000. So ideally, customers who take, say, X amount, they always look for the next offer to be a higher amount. But this guy was looking for a smaller amount because his need was smaller, and he was very specific about it. Say, I want 30,000, I just want to take 30,000, I do not want a big offer. So that's the reason he was not availing it. So that what helps us understand, okay, we need to make a change to the product. Even if it's an offer of 1 lakh, we should communicate that they can take any amount, plus we should allow them to lower the amount at the time of taking the loan. So even if it's a 1 lakh offer, they should be able to reduce the amount and take a lower amount if possible, depending on the credit profile, etc. And giving that flexibility was very important. So this kind of surveys, this kind of conversations helps us understand what changes need to be made to the journey, what changes need to be made to the communications, and this is what helps convert these customers. So if you are able to provide a option to the customer to reduce the amount or maybe reduce the tenure, etc., and if he knows through the message as well that there is a flexibility available, then he would go ahead. But if the message is very rigid in terms of this is the offer, this is what you have to take, some customers may not take it. But at the same time, you also need to understand that everyone doesn't need that flexibility. Some people would be just be looking for a higher amount. So understanding the behavior of the customer is very important. And I would say any campaign that you send out to customer, apart from the main call to action, which is avail loan now, you should also have another call to action which helps you gather feedback. Like if he doesn't want to avail, or if he doesn't want any further messages, what is the reason for sale? If you have this reason, then you can see, okay, out of 100 customers, there are 45 customers have given this particular reason. So I need to go back, changes to the product, to the service, to the journey, or maybe to the communication itself, so that these people take the service. So that's how we do it. Wherein once you get feedback from the customer, it is necessary that you implement it and get back to them.
Got it. Got it. That's amazing. Good to know that. So, with like when we look for this recent trend with agentic AIs, predictive analytics, and evolving customer expectations, how do you see VoC programs also evolving with this? Like, what should CX leaders like me be preparing for to ensure the voice of customer program remain relevant and impactful and can provide the kind of impact that we want to see in our business?
So, Krishna, it's already happening. It has started with AI solutions coming ahead. So, I see going ahead, VOCs will be real time and predictive in nature, not reactive in nature. Till now, they were more reactive in nature. That something has happened, you collect VOC and then you start fixing it. But now with AI, you are able to get a real time VOC, and also VOC which is able to predict what all things are going to happen, which needs to be avoided. So, for example, when AI listens to the conversations that are happening with the customer service conversations, it is able to immediately generate the VOC of the customer. That 100 calls have happened. Out of 100 calls, 20 calls, customers have raised the issue that the app is not functioning, the homepage is very slow, and they are not able to, the app is not loading for them. So immediately a trigger goes to the tech team saying that there is some problem with the homepage that needs to be fixed. People are experiencing loading issues and they are not able to make payment. So that's something that helps on an immediate basis rather than waiting for 24 hours to get an escalation and then work on it. So I would say VOCs are moving towards being real time and predictive. Second, I would say when it about a real time VOC would be there are services which enable us to track the journey at the when the customer is doing the loan application process inside the app. When he's completing the process, there can be an AI bot that assists the customer throughout the journey from the sign up page till the disbursement page. A bot would be following the customer, and if the customer is not responding at a particular page, taking too much time on a particular page, the bot can immediately ask him, do you need help? Do you need help understanding the page, or are you facing any technical problems? I can raise a ticket for you. Or do you need help in understanding any specific terminology or thing that is displayed here? I can explain that to you, rather than him contacting customer service or rather than him dropping off the page. These AI solutions can help, number one, navigate the customer to the final disbursement offer, and number two, send a live feedback to the team so that they can do the necessary changes and fix the process. So I think VOC is turning from being reactive to being more real time and predictive.
Got it. Got it. So VOC is evolving with reactive and real-time information. Sorry, predictive and real-time
Yeah.
information. That's amazing. So, great insights from you, Suraj. But just one last question for all our audience and CX professionals watching us today. How to what's one actionable thing they can do starting Monday to make their customer feedback more actionable? So, what should be their approach, or what should be that one thing that they should be looking after while creating their VOC programs?
Okay, so I would say number one, pick your top complaint drivers, and in order to pick your top complaint drivers, it's necessary that first of all the team is doing a clean tagging of each and every conversation. So have a clean tag for each and every conversation that happens across all channels: call, email, chat, social media, Play Store. Any conversation that happens with the customer needs to be tagged appropriately with a detailed category and a subcategory. That's number one. That is basic data cleaning. Then just pick the top complaint drivers for the month, a category that receives the highest volume of queries. Just pick that category. Call 10 customers out of that category who have experienced this problem in the last 7 days and ask just two questions. Can you walk me through the problem that you faced? Just tell them, ask them to explain what exactly happened with them. And second, ask them for suggestions on what do they think needs to be changed here, or what kind of expectations that they have in this particular problem to be solved by us, and you would get the right answer. So I think the number one thing needs to be done is top always, every month or every fortnight, pick the top complaint driver, identify 10 customers, recent customers who have faced that issue, speak to them and ask them these two questions: what is the problem? Explain the problem to me, and also give me some suggestions. And then you can, that's how you uh, get ahead with that. And if you cannot call customers every time, I understand. So people over time tend to be busy, and they may not have the time to call customers, or the customers may not be responding. So you can just pick up 10 calls from the contact center for that particular category and listen to those calls anytime whenever you have time. Maybe on the weekends you can just listen to those calls on your mobile phone, and then take down your summary, and you would be able to arrive at the right decision on what is going wrong with your product or process, and which needs to be fixed immediately.
Got it. That's great. That's really insightful. And thank you so much, Suraj, for taking out time to talk to us and giving all the insights that regarding VOC programs, how to build it, how to improve it, and how to uh, run the entire program from starting collecting the feedback to closing the loop. Amazing session. So now we will open for the audience to ask questions. So anyone who wants to ask any questions, you can type it in the chat box on LinkedIn itself, and I and Suraj will be happy to answer those questions. So Suraj will wait for a minute
Sure,
because
works, no
it's
problem.
like live, so there might be someone is asking any question. So we have one question, Suraj. The question is from a fintech perspective, what are the key success factors you look for when partnering with a BPO or contact center to ensure the customer experience remains seamless, compliant, and deeply aligned with your brand ethos? I'm sure you can take this up.
Yeah, definitely. So, first of all, right now we have not outsourced. We have been since initiation days we have been keeping this process in house. One reason for keeping it in house is we just wanted to have control over the entire customer grievance process because as I said, it's a regulated industry, and RBI has been very strict about what kind of how do you handle escalations, how do you service customers, etc. And we just wanted to have an entire control over the process and design it. But yes, outsourcing can be done. A lot of banks also do it. Presently, we are keeping it in house. But yes, I would say the number one factor that I would look for is that how many financial. The number one is I would look for existing financial services clients for that BPO. What kind of clients are you already servicing? Number two, I would do some demo calls with the service centers. Once I know that this is the agent, this is the clients that you're servicing. Say, for example, you tell me that you're servicing Axis Bank and credit card services of this Axis Bank. I would like to do a demo call as a customer to understand what kind of services are being given, what is the quality of a conversation happening over there, and after conversations, what kind of feedback, etc., is taken. Now, of course, that depends on the bank as well, how they have defined the process, but at least it gives you a glimpse about how serious is the team and how they are working on the process. Second would be on the data part, what kind of data is exposed to the agents. And second, and finally, I would look at employee review as well. How happy are the employee working with the particular organization? Means, are the employees happy, or do they feel very stressed working, or how is the overall working environment of the organization? That is very important. So, number one would be compliance and data. Number two would be live feedback about the team by speaking to the team, by acting as a customer of that particular client. Number three would be employee feedback. So these are the important areas I would look for, and I would also look for a BPO which already has fintech clients, RBI regulated fintech clients, because that would give some that would help me have some basic. It ensures that the basic groundwork is in place.
Got it. Got it. I hope, Sumit, you have got your answer. Great. So we have few comments, not questions, like great session, very actionable and closing the loop centric,
Thank you.
amazing session, powerful insights. Great. I think if there are no more questions, we can wrap it up. Let me just
Sure.
refresh one more time. All right. All right. So there seems to be no more questions as of now, Suraj. So thank you so much, Suraj, for your time and sharing all the valuable insights with me, with the audience, with everyone. And the CX Minds is really thankful to you for joining us today. Have a great day. Have a great evening ahead, Suraj.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much, Krishna, for the. Had a great time. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.